afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm coming to you from Ubud, beautiful Bali. So you might hear the occasional rooster in the background. It is morning. That is what happens when you're in Bali. So today I want to chat to you about 10 things about being a tantric lawyer that you can actually take and implement in your life, and I'll be going into why in more detail in another video. This is just to give you a bit of a snapshot of some of the content of my book, a bit of a preview for you. So you can see my book makes me so happy. The chapters make me laugh, and I get a lot of joy and enjoyment from the sharing, and I got a lot of enjoyment from the writing. So if you enjoyed it, I'm really happy. If you're attracted to this, I know it won't be everyone's cup of tea. It is for certain people that it will resonate with. So there you go. First of all, turning a wound into a magical wand. So I talked a bit about this yesterday in my live. So that's about how I transformed some deep wounding that happened in my childhood in my life when after I grew up. So basically we all have beliefs that we learn when we're young. It's not so much what happens to us, it's actually what we believe that we conclude from whatever abuse or whatever trauma goes on. So it is very, very particular how it affects the individual. So how exactly we can change that from the multi-generational abuse that I saw in my life as a lawyer in my first decade, and then in my first decade of life I started to upskill, and I felt that I was able to break a lot of that patterns by getting more conscious, getting more aware. So that's the first one. You can actually turn your wounds, whatever seems to happen. It's like, oh my God, why do I always choose the wrong person? Why do they always turn into a blah? Like whatever that blah is for you. Like why can't I ever hold on to money? Like no matter what that thing is for you, that's like your Achilles heel. It's probably got some roots in some multi-generational stuff that happened. So that's number one. That's what we do. That's what I do. So number two is wake the fuck up. So often we live in denial because it's comfortable, because society does, particularly in the West. You know, there's a lot of subjects that are taboo, and that goes for everywhere, you know, from the top levels of government to like all walks of life. Like basically I am comfortable in any environment. Like I started work in one of the poorest, most disadvantaged areas of town as a social justice lawyer. And one of the things that I learned, one of the values I learned actually from my stepdad, is how important it is to feel at home, whether you're at a black tie event for the elite, like he used to say, having tea with the Queen at Buckingham Palace, or now it's the King, or at the roughest front bar having a beer and making conversation. It's really important. This is how I grew up, to feel comfortable in both. So I did, you know, I went to black tie events as a lawyer, lots of them, and I also showed up at front bars and drank beer. So how to wake up, what does that actually mean? Like what I find is that there is more truth spoken in the front bar. So that's the first thing, but there obviously isn't the ability, the means, the knowledge, the education, or the resources to change those patterns. So the people at the top have the resources, but there's what holds them back. This is my experience, right? From, you know, like 35 years working in the systems, is that there's not enough truth spoken. And when it is, it can be a little judgy. So waking the fuck up is like number one. Like what effect are people having on you? What effect is things in your life, your job, you know, how is it affecting you? How do you cope with things that that are uncomfortable. You know, what do you do? Do you eat? Do you drink? Do you exercise? Like, what's your go-to thing? So it's about getting more conscious about those things and what is kind of running the programs in the background like a computer. And our conscious is often the very tip of the iceberg. So number 3, gratitude for the silver lining. Now this is really key, and this can be a real stumbling block, and I have found it personally the most challenging and game-changing thing in my life. So my book talks about how I've had a number of accidents, how all of them have helped me really wake the fuck up, and how I healed from all of them without any trauma, like any, well, you know, very, very little. There's a little bit in my left leg and my left knee because I had that accident before I became conscious and knew about complementary therapies. So gratitude for the silver lining. So being grateful when shit happens. Like that's it in a nutshell. And it's really, really fucking hard. You know, I know that because it's my practice. I do it on a regular basis. So it, you know, COVID, that brought up all of our stuff. It was very confronting. I had dear family members that refused to see me and disconnected from me because I chose a different path. And it's like, you know, hey Paul, how's it going? Yeah, bring them on camera. Funny, hilarious. Oh dear. So yeah, gratitude for the silver lining was actually the game changer for me. Like I was so stuck in grief and anger, and it was actually being grateful that actually it kind of like I was putting pressure on myself to chase after these people that basically didn't want to have anything to do with me during COVID, and I was putting that pressure on myself. Like they weren't asking for it. It was my fantasy. It was what I thought I should do as a good, you know, blah, whatever. I won't mention the relationship because it's personal, but it was, you can read all about it in my book. You can join my free VIP group, which will be set up next week. And please do, if you're watching this and you'd like to hear all the behind the scenes stuff that I can't say in public. Okay, so this is just a little bit of a teaser, a little bit of a taster for what's coming. So, gratitude. It was a game changer. It is a game changer. Where there's a will, there's a way. So this is number 4. So this, again, all of these lessons have deeply, deeply personal, come from deeply, deeply personal experiences for me. So this one happened when I was in the UK in 2002 or 2001, I think. I'd just been there a couple of years. And something very, very, very challenging happened that is all in my book. It's like one of the most confronting and difficult situations a human being, I think, can be in. And I don't want to go into it because I'll cry. Okay, so what that taught me, I got a really, really, really super clear message from the universe to say, where there's a will, there's a way. Like, this is the message. This is the message. Where there's a will, there's a way. Like, search your heart. What is your heart saying? What is your truth saying? And make it happen. Like, believe in that truth. Don't compromise. You know, you are worth much more. So that's what the voice said to me. And that's what I'm saying to you. And I'm going to move on. Okay. Number 5. And again, these are all confronting. These are all edgy. This is my book, right? This is my life. More multiple orgasms, please. So when I got into Tantra in the UK, I heard about it for the first time when I was doing a rebirther training. I was 29, it was in South Australia, and I became very curious. There were just little tidbits mentioned, and how breath was really important to move the energy around the body so it's not all just stuck in the pelvis. And what most people experience is women commonly not orgasmic, very, very common, more than you'd think, high proportion, and men you know, I mean, everyone has performance anxiety. Everyone struggles with intimacy, no matter what body you're in, no matter what shape you've got, no matter what kind of mechanics are going on. There's intimacy challenges. So how can we move energy so that we can experience more pleasure in our whole body? And this can be done actually with practice without any touch. You know, you can move energy through ecstatic dance and feel orgasmic and just high on life, which is pretty common actually when you're following these techniques. So, means feeling, guys. And most of us are oppressed in the West. If you grew up in the West, you're oppressed. I should make that a bumper sticker. Number 6, dare to dream and do life differently. So again, this is something I've had a lot of personal experience in. I was really drawn to ancient ruins when I first went overseas. I went everywhere, like Middle East, Central and South America, Cambodia, Thailand. Couldn't get enough of them. Stone circles, crop circles in the UK, all really magical and fascinating for me, and not explained by our education system or history, not at all. So I'm not going to get into that now, but the message is about daring to dream, do life differently. What kind of life do you dream about? You know, like, where do you want to live? What do you want to be doing? How much do you want to be working? What kind of climate do you like? Like, all of these things. We have choices now, especially post-COVID. We still have those choices. And yeah, anything's possible. That's my message about dreaming and doing life differently. And don't worry about, you know, if your friends or family don't get it. Like, it's your life, okay? Number 7, trust the universe and listen to intuition. So basically the universe whispers to us. It's like that little voice in the ear. It's how our body feels. You know, if someone comes into the room that we either just love automatically or immediately just kind of go, oh, they want something from me, or there's just something that doesn't feel right. You know, there's something about the situation that I don't trust. So trust that voice, because believe me, if you don't listen, you get like a Mack truck and then a Concorde. And I talk about that in my book as well. And we're human, you know, like, we get busy. We want to please others. And, well, that's my pattern anyway. I think it's a common pattern. So, you know, we make compromises and then we can lose ourselves so easily. So trust the intuition, listen to your intuition before you get run over. Number 8, you are much more powerful than you know. Okay, so this is why I really super respect, and I'm going to be really like careful here with what I say, because I super respect all this stuff that's out there that says, you know, the world's controlled by a handful of people. It's very easy to feel not powerful or that our voice doesn't count. But every micro decision you make, it has an impact. You know, what you choose to eat, where you choose to eat it, where you choose to buy your food from, where you choose to shop. You know, like in Australia, I'm a fanatical op shopper. I just get, I don't know, I got these, this beautiful like top. I got this new at a market. I got this second hand, and this lovely necklace was given to me, made by a friend, crystal necklace. And this was, I bought from the temple. So that's, you know, that's my outfit. I'm wearing, you can't see them, but I'm wearing gym pants from an op shop. It's like, it's so easy, it's so cheap. We don't need to spend a ton of money to look great. And I've been complimented by, you know, top commercial law firms, top barristers on my appearance. It's hilarious. I've cycled to the court, literally cycled in all my, you know, like wet weather gear and all my gear. And I've done a really quick change in the loos. And I've been complimented by like fashionistas in the court who, like, I don't know, spend a shit ton on clothes. It's crazy. It's insane. So, I digress. You are more powerful than you know. You never know when your smile or a kind word is going to make a difference to someone and to yourself. Be really, really kind to yourself, guys. Number 9, slavery to sovereignty. Isn't that a confronting title? Slavery to sovereignty. Where are you giving your power away? You know, are you giving it to your employer, your boss, your manager? Are you giving it to your spouse, your lover, your friends, your family, your mum, your dad? You know, your government. Where does it show up for you? Where do you make decisions that don't actually feel right, but you don't want to make a fuss? So it's about getting clear, and it's not like compromise is wrong. Like it's we all do it. We're human. We want to live in a society. We don't live in an island. Well, some people do. But yeah, so slavery to sovereignty. It's about becoming a sovereign being, realizing that you are already a sovereign being. You may have just forgotten. And number 10, 10th lesson, number 5. That's really cool, isn't it? I've got 10 fingers and there's 10 lessons, is your unique soul path, finding your meaning and purpose in life. And this is deeply personal. Again, what looks cool and feels good for you won't for anyone else, and it may be for now and not tomorrow, and maybe it didn't yesterday. So just be aware that energy is really changing on the planet. I mean, you know this anyway because you're watching this. You know that it's happening faster than ever. You also know that well, maybe you forgot. I don't know. Maybe you do know that you're a manifester. You can slow down time. You can bend time. Simple. Take a deep breath and exhale. Exhale at twice the rate you inhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale. Again, nice slow exhale. So this will get you nice and really grounded for you to tune in to your unique soul path and your soul purpose. And one more deep breath with me. Clenching the pelvic floor because I love to do this and it really helps with grounding. And out. Nice slow exhalation. Well, it helps me. Nice slow exhalation. Hey Ellen, nice to see you watching. And everyone's soul purpose is different, and that's one of the gifts I have, is that I can see when I have permission and I tune in and I work with people. Like, obviously I don't eavesdrop. Don't worry guys, I'm not going to eavesdrop on your energy fields. I'm far too busy. I have enough people contacting me wanting help. So yeah, if people contact me and ask for help, I will tune into their fields because they're giving me permission, inviting me, asking me to do that. And I can see timelines, I can see Akashic records, I can feel them, I can feel their trajectories. And it happens like, you know, it can happen in an instant. I get visions, I can see, you know, if they're showing up in their higher self purpose or where they are, you know, limiting themselves perhaps. And again, this is a 3D experience. We all do it. We're all vast beings that are kind of squished into bodies, if that makes sense. We're all like the body and the life that we experience is a fractal. It's a fractal. It's like a small, this is quantum science stuff. I'm not going to go into it in too much, don't worry. Yeah, but your unique soul path is beautiful. That's what I want to say. And whatever brings you joy, whatever brings you love, you should do it. And I should do it. And I do it. So yeah, it's wonderful. And thank you so much. I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for being with me, for sharing this journey. And next week, I'll be dropping an invitation here to join my free community. And I look forward to seeing you there. Lots of love to you wherever you are in the world.